A man convicted of genocide will serve his life sentence behind bars in a different country. Meanwhile, the list of demands from protesters in Colombia is growing. Debora Patta is following these stories and others from Johannesburg. Debora, what can you tell us?
Well, good morning, Anne-Marie. Yes, we kick off in Colombia, where pensioners, students and workers marched against the government on Wednesday. Initially, the protests were fueled by a now cancelled tax plan. But the protesters' demands have expanded to include an end to police violence, economic support as the pandemic batters incomes, and the withdrawal of a health reform. Colombia's President Ivan Duque urged citizens to reject violence and stereotypes about demonstrators and police alike. He wants dialogue to resolve the issues, but many protesters are skeptical that government promises will lead to change, and talks with union and student leaders have so far proved fruitless. Over to Nepal, where 2 climbers from the US and Switzerland have died on Mount Everest, the first fatalities of this year's season. On average, around 5 climbers die every year on the world's highest peak. These most recent deaths were from exhaustion and, in the case of the American climber, snow blindness. The climbing season coincides with a deadly second wave of COVID-19 infections in Nepal, where they are running out of oxygen. As hospitals strain to cope with the growing crisis, relief groups are asking mountain climbers to hand over their used oxygen cylinders so they can be refilled for COVID-19 patients. Justice for the people of former Yugoslavia, as Radovan Karadzic, the former Bosnian Serb leader convicted of genocide, is to be transferred to a British jail to serve the rest of his life sentence. The 75-year-old was also found guilty at his 2016 criminal tribunal of war crimes and crimes against humanity. His original 40-year sentence was increased at an appeal hearing in 2019. His conviction for genocide related to his responsibility for the murder of more than 7,000 Muslim men and boys at Srebrenica in 1995, considered one of the worst massacres in Europe since World War II. And finally, a new take on dealing with corruption in China. An area in the southwest of the country has banned birthday parties and other celebrations following calls from the central government to be more frugal. It also set out new rules for weddings and funerals, including a ban on cash gifts of more than $31 to avoid bribery. The rules in Funing County only apply to Communist Party members, civil servants and village organization leaders, not to most residents. According to the new directive, parties celebrating occasions such as birthdays, job promotions or housewarmings would be banned from this month. So, if you want to get married in that part of China, you can't have more than 200 guests, no more than 20 banquet tables, and only 10 cars. The idea being that the more frugal an event is, the less opportunity there is for bribery. Anne-Marie.
Very interesting, Debora. Thank you.